of her dread her coming, for she is Vora, harbinger of the end of the realm, and they are not prepared. So she just, I could talk for many minutes about this, but the TLDR, the gist of it is she is one of a sacred martial order who worshipped Io, and kept these seals protected. Io, unfortunately, was not present during the conflict that was brought to the Shattered Desert and subsequently to her village. Most of her friends, family, and order were killed, and she essentially is left mostly alone in the world. She's chosen to actively embrace what was once forsaken, or once, that chaos that was supposed to be guarded against, and is now probably, quite possibly, the greatest threat to the realm that the realm has ever seen. So, big scary.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen from just the teaser campaigns, she's not to be reckoned with. And there she is!
She's
such an evil lady. Now, one vibe I always got, and we'll see it here when we show off her moves, is it made me think of almost like ballerinas, like her animations and stuff, like very graceful, but deadly, right? Like,
yeah, I know the animation team used a lot of dancing and ballerina as inspiration for how she moves around and uses her scythe and other abilities. So it's a very fluid combat style, both gameplay wise and visually, and she's so much fun to play. Kevin, if you want to
just start, rolling through some of the
abilities. It's all you.
Let's do it. So, if you've not heard, she is a flank champion, base health 2,000, and she has a passive. So you see the UI elements there under her reticle. Her passive is darkness. So hits against an enemy with your scythe provide a stack of darkness to you. Using Dark Siphon or Obliteration, which are two of her other abilities, will consume all stacks, regardless of the number of stacks you have, healing you for 100 over 1 second per stack. And if you have maximum stacks, you actually augment those other abilities as well. You can have a maximum of 5 stacks, as you can see with the pips there. So with the weapon that you see our cameraman showing off right now, Deadly Scythe, the Vora sends out projectiles that deal damage over a short duration in addition to initial damage, with a unique attack chain that we can show off here with a medium, light, heavy.
If we just want to run
light
through the
attack
attack
does
chain.
300. Say again?
Oh, let's just run through the attack chain.
Yeah, we can just run through the attack chain. 470 damage every 1 second on the medium hit. The light hits 300 damage every 0.35 seconds. And then heavy 680 every 1.2 seconds. The attack chain is not interrupted by other abilities, so you can chain through kind of your own way of playing. It makes for some very fluid gameplay. We can show off the first ability, which is the alt fire, Obliteration. So essentially, you jump up and slash down around you, dealing 500 damage and applying a small knockback to enemies hit. While using this ability, this is the real kicker, while using this ability, you are immune to damage and crowd control. So for all intents and purposes, this provides you iframes during the ability. Using Obliteration with 5 stacks of your passive, Darkness, will deal an additional 300 damage and will slow enemies hit by 30% for 2 seconds. There you can see the slow effects on poor Fernando, the punching bag. Moving on, we can launch directly into the ability 1, Dark Siphon. Dark Siphon launches a vicious projectile from your scythe, which deals 200 damage on hit and an additional 400 damage over 1.5 seconds. Hitting an enemy also causes you to regenerate 300 health over 2 seconds, so almost effectively a health siphon. Using this ability with maximum darkness stacks will cripple the enemy hit for 1.5 seconds, preventing use of movement abilities.
I've
can show that off
loved
real quick here too.
her visuals ever since I started seeing everyone play her in the dev builds when she was getting developed. Although I absolutely hate playing against, when I do the playtest with you guys, I hate when Waddles is playing her, and he's on the other team. It literally, I get dead because I'm like usually playing as like IO trying to support everyone.
Waddles and Brett have both taken a liking, I think, to Vora, which has been fantastic to see in the playtests, except when they kill me, in which case I'm sad. Moving on to the next ability, her movement ability, ability 2, is called Tendril. Manifest your will, propelling yourself forward towards where you're looking, towards your target with the Tendril. You can hit players to pull you to them as well. This is her mobility, and opens up a lot of really cool possibilities, especially in combination with one of her talents.
Now that kind of reminds me a little bit of Grover there. Was that any inspiration for it?
It's
Kind of
definitely
for
in the
how
same
like you
vein.
wanted her to move?
Yeah, definitely in the same vein. We made some changes or upgrades to how this functions. A little bit of tech that helps with not getting stuck on the ground if you're going forward. A little bit of tech for how it affects your movement in air. A little bit more air control, which allows for a little bit of drifting. But definitely the same vein, yeah.
I like here too. I just noticed we're on the Shattered Desert as well while we're in here. So.
Yeah, a little bit of lore there. This is indeed the area, and you could even say, if you wanted to, that this may be one of the seals that that the Sacred Martial Order was supposed to be guarding. A little bit of fun lore tidbit for you.
I won't interrupt you anymore. That was a little detail I noticed and had to point out, especially for everyone watching.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of what makes it fun, right? Is that lore connection, or how things connect with the rest of the realm. Moving into her ultimate ability, Harbinger's Wrath. So this is one of my favorite abilities by far. Channel your wrath to hunt your enemies, which increases your movement speed significantly and decreases the damage you take, while pulling you back to kind of this really, really cool, we can go ahead and show off in game if we want, really, really cool camera. Selecting a target in range will hit them, applying a bunch of CC, essentially, stun, cripple, all that good stuff. Should be anti-heal as well, 100% anti-heal. If they are above the health threshold, they will take damage. If they are below the health threshold, which I believe is 66% right now, they will be executed and play a different animation. Very, very cinematic, very, very cool. You can even go ahead and punch Fernando a little bit, see if we can get him below that threshold. That hunter-killer vibe, I think, really, really plays well here.
That screeching noise when she goes up and kills them, I'm terrified.
This ability lasts for 5 seconds and can be refired to cancel. And that's the gist of her kit. We can very quickly, I can just talk about, I don't think we need to necessarily show off any of the talents, but I can talk about her talents. One of her talents provides an extra, I believe, 10% damage, 10% of maximum health damage to enemies hit by her Dark Siphon, which is her projectile. One of her talents, when you hit enemies with Obliteration, which is her alt fire, that jump up and slash down, will silence enemies hit by Obliteration for, I believe, 1.5 seconds. And then her third talent is essentially 2 charges of Tendril. So the ability to provide yourself a huge amount of mobility, be where you want to be on the battlefield, and use that in conjunction with some of her cards, which play into that ability.
Yeah. Let's go through some of her voice lines. I know we have only a little bit of time left, so we got to see the majority of what makes her in here. But let's hear some of these voice lines. I love her voice actress, by the way.
Dance with me, partner. I'll take your breath away.
Who is the voice actress, Nico? Do you know?
I suppose you're not useless. I am the realm's last breath. All good things to those who wait.
Yeah. Huge shout out to, I believe it's Stephanie Panicello.
We must capture the objective.
Okay.
I believe this is her first time doing work for Paladins, but she absolutely nailed Vora. She did a fantastic job as Vora, as the villainess. So huge shout outs to Stephanie.
All and we're gonna go through and show you some of the splash art for some of the skins that she's getting. And when I say she's getting some love, our newest champ here, look at her. She's getting some love.
So cool.
Her first skin we're gonna show you is her Steel Guardian skin. This is a limited skin. This is the season pass, or no, this is
fancy.
Sorry. Galactic Conqueror. I'm sorry. I skipped the one. You can put it back up there. Sorry.
The one.
Galactic Conqueror. Sorry. This is the one that you will be able to get in the Beyond Science and Fiction. You'll want this one, right? Especially if you had the Stellar sister skins. They need a villain. This is the villain. This is the antagonist, right? That is her. And the Scythe, the Scythe is one of my favorite things about that skin. It got the little bow on it too in the game at the bottom. It is amazing.
That stellar crystal is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now we're going to go into Seal Guardian. My bad, folks. This is the limited one. This is going to be, as many of you saw the card art of the uncorrupt, darkness Vora. This is her when she was the Seal Guardian. This skin is limited and will only be obtained in the Season Pass 2019-2020. It will become unobtainable after the Season Pass 2019-2020 has finished. So if you really like this skin, you will want to get that. If you already have the Season Pass, then you're set. You get it in there. You'll also be getting Honor Guard, which this one is not limited, but it is a alternative version of the Seal Guardian. And this is also unlocked through the Season Pass as well. So you will not only be getting the first one, but also this if you have the Season Pass, which I think a great deal. Normally, I think we only do one Season Pass skin, so having the other variant is really nice, in my opinion. So we're going to go also into the alternative for her default, which is Herald Vora. And there she is. Kind of almost gives me like an abyssal vibe there with the purple. Love it. This one, though, is the one that you can unlock with 200 crystals or 60,000 gold. So many of you are always like, what can I do with all this gold? Well, there you go. This is why we still do the double gold weekends with the account XP, because there are some people that are newer to the game that don't have any, that when they get the gold and they get double gold, heck, you can buy, an alternative skin for your, character. And gold, speaking of gold,
speaking of gold,
speaking of it, we are going into Golden Vora, and she looks fierce AF. This obviously, by reaching Mastery level 50, is how you will get Golden Vora. So that is our conclusion of her.